Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Bithoulkas, and it's time for Is It Worth My Time? And this time around, it's Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and then we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos, my fast video library, and pops it up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you want to know when I'll be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule up there. I change it out every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media and all the links to my pages there. So that's this YouTube channel, my Facebook page, and a Facebook group page for those of you who still have Facebook to post stuff and chat amongst yourselves. All right, so I'm going to do a spoiler-free version, as I said before in the beginning here, and then we'll do the spoiler version. So what happened here was I actually saw this at a drive-in theater. I went to a drive-in. I did not go to a theater. I went to the world's worst drive-in theater, obviously, because they kept letting cars in during the movie. So there, the headlights kept washing out the screen like every, 10 minutes or so. Great time. The sound system was good because I was in my car and I know what the sound system is like in my car. So that was fine. I was able to follow along on that. The viewing was piss poor, let's just say that. So just being able to see everything as it was. With that aside, what is this movie about? So it is in the Marvel universe. It does take place, after the snap and then the blip where everyone comes back. And it's about this guy whose dad is just one of the most powerful people on the planet, with money and whatnot. And his dad wants him, of course, to take over at some point in time, but there's a catch to it, of course. And how should I say this without giving stuff away? There is sci-fi elements involved with the Ten Rings. There is mysticism that is involved with where Shang-Chi's mother comes from. And actually, that's the crux of the story, is them getting to the place where she comes from, getting back to that. So, yeah, that is where we're at on this. So, good cast. It was a fairly long movie, like a little over 2 hours there. Was it worth my time? Yeah, it was. It was actually a lot of fun. I mean, I wish I had seen it under better conditions, and I would have liked to have seen it under better conditions, obviously. But of course, with the pandemic going on, I was not about to go into a theater. Is it the best of the Marvel movies? No, not by far, but it was a fun Marvel movie. So that was the one thing that a lot of these Marvel movies, like the funnest Marvel movie I could say was Thor Ragnarok. That's just a fun movie. And that's because it's Taika, Waititi. That's what he does. This is a fun movie, but is still kind of grounded within the Marvel universe. So it's not as wacky as Thor Ragnarok, but it's not as serious as Infinity War or Endgame or anything like that. It's really fairly firm in between all those two movies right there, or those three movies, I guess you could say. There are some great cameos in this movie too. There's two to be, exact in this thing. And also there is a mid-credit scene and there is an end credit scene, and you want to stay for both, obviously. So that's where we're going to go with on that. Is it better than Iron Man 2? Yes, it's better than Iron Man 2, Marks. It is better than Iron Man 2, and Mickey Rourke's cracked out stubble teeth. So with that said, And that's about as non-spoiler as I can go on that without giving away some details. So, spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the movie, actually. If you haven't seen the movie, go and watch it. However you want to watch it. Then you can come on back, and this will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Okay, going once, going twice, going 3 times. You've been warned. So there we go. Let's see here. Mufunobi says, I'm going to read some of the comments here. Mork says, where would you put it in the rest of the Marvel movies? Top 5, mid 5, bottom 5? Considering that there's 20 movies out there, I'm going to buy it when it comes out. I would put it in that, it's at least in the midway portion. I would say probably around 10 or 11 on that. So, like I said, it wasn't like the end all be all of Marvel movies, but it wasn't. It was by far no Marvel movie is bad. Okay, unless you're talking about Miss Marvel, Captain Marvel. Yeah, I know. No Marvel movie is really bad. They're just sometimes disappointing. That's about it. This is not a bad movie. No way in hell is this a bad movie. This is actually a lot of fun. There's a lot of good stuff in it. There are some stereotypes in there too, which I was kind of surprised by. There's, I don't know if they were kind of making fun of it or what. It didn't seem like they were, and it might have been unintentional in some points, but where do you want to go with that? Mufinobi says, I think it's hysterical that He Who Should Not Be Named was featured in the YouTube thumbnails about it being a flop and being really that's pretty funny. I didn't know that. Yes, that is actually pretty funny. Mercenary says it's pretty good, tough to know where to rank it. Yeah, exactly, Mercenary. I'm with you on that. It's a really tough movie to rank in the Marvel movies, so it's really kind of hard to tell. Philip A. Demick says, how do we tell people it's Asian Wakanda without spoiling that it's Asian Wakanda? That's a good question. So I actually have some other theories. I'm not the only person who's thought about this either. There are other people out there that have thought of this as well, which I'll get to in a moment. But let me get through what you guys are saying here. Mork says, I'll catch the spoilerific version later. Have a good night. See you, Morks. Mufino says, I'm looking forward to a rewatch. Usually I see the Marvel movies with family on rewatch. Mom and dad aren't into martial arts, but my sister might watch. Yeah, I could see that. Your mom and dad into action movies? I know your mom's into the Momoa, so I mean, I'm sure she'll be okay with this. Mork says midway 10, 11 sounds good. Okay. Yeah. All right. So to the movie itself, with the spoilers version of this, some of the things I loved the Wong cameo, Wong in the Abomination. So Tim Roth actually came back and voiced Abomination. I'm glad they got him to a comic accurate Abomination instead of the Abomination that was the Abomination within the Ed Norton version of Hulk, the Incredible Hulk, because that was just a shitty version of the Abomination. And also that movie was just shit in general because there's no physics involved in any of that animation whatsoever. It just, go back and watch that end scene, watch them hop off of fire escapes and shit like that. And these are supposed to be like 800 to 1,000-pound characters, like jumping off fire escapes and shit. So I was just laughing my ass off on that one. But anyway, the Wong cameo is great. The the Muni bus scene. So the bus in San Francisco, the system is called Muni, MUNI, and that's the fight they're having on the One California. That's actually the real bus, is a One California bus. I've taken that bus I don't know how many times. The joke in this whole thing is that's the way a normal Muni bus runs anyway. It kind of just destroys shit as it goes down the street and takes turns really hard. And that's so there's nothing really new about any of that. That's just a normal day on Muni. What wasn't normal for that whole scene was there was no traffic on the streets. I mean, there was barely any traffic on the streets. It's like, yeah, that bus would have crashed like about 5 seconds into that whole run, because usually buses get hemmed in San Francisco, and that's why they're always late. But anyway, the fight scenes were good. They were well choreographed and just well shot, which I really liked about this too. Is you could actually see what the fuck was going on when there wasn't car headlights blocking out the screen. But um, the characters were good. Aquafina wasn't as annoying as I thought she was going to be. She was annoying, but they toned her down a bit, which was great because normally I can't fucking stand her. So I'm glad they toned her ass down quite a bit. Um, I'm trying to think who else. Tony Leung, of course, as his father, great actor. And from what I heard, basically on the set, they had to give him no direction whatsoever. He knew exactly what he was going to do, went in there, did it, and did exactly what he needed to do for the role. And it's just like, fuck yeah, he did it. The whole dragon reveal thing at the end, kind of a little bit, too on the nose, I guess you could say, on that. So that just kind of was like, meh. All right, I'll give you that one. You can have that one. But yeah, it was just kind of one of those things I looked at and I was like, yeah, all right, I'll just let you go with that. So here's the thing that I and others, of course, have thought about. Tao Lo, the city that Shang-Chi's mother comes from, that's supposed to be in another realm. I immediately started thinking when Michelle Yao is talking about all the other cities that are within that realm, within this dimension, that there are many cities out there, and that they were ravaged, of course, by the soul, the soul suckers. And I started thinking Kunlun, from Iron Fist, because in Iron Fist there's 7 cities, there's 7 capital cities, and they only show up, once in a blue moon kind of thing on the Earth realm. Same thing, kind of like the path here to Tao Lo only opens up once in a blue moon to the Earth realm, and then you have to know the path in order to get there. And I started thinking, are they trying to tie Shang-Chi and Iron Fist together, maybe in a kind of weird, bastardized way? And I was kind of okay with that, to tell you the truth. I kind of want to see Kunlun come in, and I want to see a real Danny Rand, a real Iron Fist come in. And I would love to see the rest of the 7 capital cities of heaven, which is from Iron Man, of course. So the 7 capital cities of heaven are hidden city states that every 88 years come together to form one gigantic city called the Heart of Heaven. So this is all part of the Iron Fist series. And they all have a champion, if you will. These 7 cities, they're called the Immortal Weapons. And of course, Iron Fist was one of them. I would love to see Shang-Chi incorporate or somehow bring that in, or just, take it over, if you will. So Shang-Chi, the comic, when it first started in the 70s, was on the Bruce Lee wave. Bruce Lee had passed away, of course. Enter the Dragon was a huge fucking movie, like a huge fucking movie in the 70s. Everything from like 71 to about 78 was nothing but Bruce Lee movies. And everyone was a Bruce Lee fan. And Shang-Chi kind of was that response in the comics. They had 2 white guys, of course, writing it, so it was full of fucking stereotypes. And I remember as a kid when it came out, or when it was on the shelves, actually, and I never picked it up just because it was one of those things that looked kind of cheesy, so I never really picked it up. I knew of it though. And this is the result. So if they could actually so the movie actually updated everything, of course, made it much more ethno correct, I guess you could say, at this point. And I want to see them actually incorporate the Iron Fist mythology into the Shang-Chi universe. and take it over and fix it a little bit. I mean, the Iron Fist mythology is vast, a lot more vast than the Shang-Chi mythology. And if they could fix it a little bit more, just a little bit, it would be pretty awesome. And you can also bring in Iron Fist at that point too. Yes, I know. White dude who ends up, learning martial arts and is the savior and blah, 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 blah. But dude, it is what it is at that point. Anyway, also, that end credit, of course, with his sister. God, I'm blanking on her name all of a sudden. So Shang-Chi's sister, of course, Ziling. Ziling ends up taking over the 10 rings from her father and rebrands it because, of course, she was doing an underground fight club in Macau. And a very, successful underground fight club, obviously. And so she rebrands it into the 10 rings. And the tag at the end of the movie says the 10 rings will return, which means, is she now going to be an enemy of Shang-Chi? Is she going to be an enemy of the world? Also, this brings into play, is Valentina, Contessa, going to work with Ziling, excuse me, and bring her into her fold, because remember, we have the Contessa to deal with as well. And then also Sharon Carter, who is the power broker. Remember, she got that weird phone call at the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier. Maybe that had something to do with the 10 rings. We don't know. Maybe they're in the same power set. Maybe they're all going to be working together. Maybe, I don't know. There's a lot of maybes that are going on here. So we've got a lot of different directions to go with. We have a new, we've opened up a new toy box to play with in the Marvel universe, is what's going on here. And the rings themselves being of alien origin and also being thousands of years old, as Bruce Banner said, also brings up the whole alien. So the whole alien aspect of the 10 rings came about actually from the Iron Man cartoon, if I remember correctly. That's how they brought that in. In the comics, it was supposed to be they were mystical rings of magic, is what they were, and so they had their basis in magic. So it looks like they're kind of melding the rings with Tao Lo. So you're getting the sci-fi with the mysticism, because of course Wong's involved too in all of this, and most likely Doctor Strange. So we're going to have a little bit of melding of science and magic, which is going to be fucking awesome, especially if Marvel does it right. So there's a lot to look forward to and a lot of unknowns. That's why I can't really specify on something this outrageous, quite honestly. There are so many different variables that they could go with. And of course, they're not following comics most of the time. They use some comic elements in some of their movies, but they also go their own way as well. I'm talking them being Marvel Studios, I should say. And that's actually exciting because you, as a fan, as a Marvel fan, as a comic book fan, it surprises even me. So I see stuff that's familiar, but I also see stuff that's new that's going to make me go, wow, that's actually kind of cool. And that's what I want to see in these movies as well. So yes, I don't know, I don't know everything and anything on all of these things. I know a lot. I know just enough to be dangerous and make some, reasonable guesses at times. But yeah, I don't know exactly what they're thinking. I mean, it's not like I have a bug in Kevin Feige's office, at least not that he knows of. So, yeah. And yes, this was the highest grossing movie of a Labor Day weekend. $19 million, I believe, is what it was. And during a pandemic, that's fucking impressive. It really is. Cordell Fenival says, was I the only one who had more of a DC movie feeling than a Marvel one? I mean, fitting in respective universe. Yeah, you know what? I was going to mention that, Cordell. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, that's what I'm talking about the fun aspect of it. Marvel has usually been the more serious of the comics. And yes, there are fun Marvel comics out there, but they never really go the DC route, which was the lighthearted fare, which rarely went dark. I mean, it did go dark in times. There are dark DC comics, of course, but I agree with you. This is more of a DC comics kind of feel in spots. There's always the Marvel touches as well. You know, the dragons, of course, Razor Fist, those kind of things. So yeah, you're on the money there. I mean, there was definitely a DC feel to it in parts. And yeah, like I said, I love the cameos. Having Wong in there, the Abomination, Captain Marvel, not really. Bruce Banner, kind of fun. Yeah, that was, that was actually cool. And then of course, that mid-credit scene where they're done explaining the 10 rings and they're like, well, what do you want to do now? It's late. And they go out and go karaoke singing along with Wong and are singing Hotel California, which was pretty fucking funny. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Sealing come back as well, as the sister. I want to see Michelle Yao as Ying Nan come back as well. Yeah, I mean, Death Dealer, of course, is gone. He's dead. I'm looking at the cast list here. So, oh yes, I wanted to actually mention also we had the return of Ben Kingsley as Trevor Slattery, which I thought was funny. I knew he was coming. I knew it was going to come in because if you ever got a chance to watch Hail to the King or Hail to the King, which is a Marvel one shot that was done for Iron Man 3 on the disc, and Disney Plus actually has it up. You get to see that Trevor Slattery actually got sprung from prison by the real Mandarin because the real Mandarin was pissed off, who happens to be Tony Leung. And he ends up in the dungeon where the Mandarin, the real Mandarin, lives and is nightly doing Shakespeare. Which I thought was funny, along with the weird Morris creature, whatever it was there. Raymond says, any theories on how Bruce Banner is not the Hulk anymore? He could switch back and forth, Raymond. He even said it in Endgame, is that he kind of just was comfortable either way. They had actually, him and the Hulk had reached a point where they were kind of the same at that point. So maybe he was just relaxing. Who knows? You never know. Cordell says, still hate what they did with Captain Marvel's arc and casting. Captain Marvel, I'm going to say this right now. Captain Marvel has always been a fucking bland character. I've never liked the character in the comics. It's always been just Carol Danvers has been a bland character. She really has. And every time they try to inject some personality or some interest in the character, they fail miserably. And I know they want her to be a bigger character than she actually is, but you kind of have to let it grow organically. And unfortunately, there hasn't been a good writer for that character. I don't think there is going to be a good writer for that character for a while. And and Brie Larson, well, she fits the character, quite honestly. She's kind of bland. And yeah, there, I said it. I'm not saying that she's bad or anything like that. I'm just saying that she's just bland. But yeah, there you have it. And the whole thing with the the small amount of screen time that she was in this one, just in that mid-credit scene, was perfect. That was actually the perfect amount of Marvel or Captain Marvel that you want. The perfect amount of Carol Danvers that you want. She goes, "Oh, there's an emergency. I got to go." Bye. Click, and she hangs up. Fine, go off and do what you're gonna do. I mean, if they're gonna bring back Captain Marvel, they need to pair her with a group that has some character. And since she's cosmic, I would say they need to pair her with Nova Corps. They need to pair her with, what's his name? Ryder. Fuck, I'm blanking on his name right now. Nova himself, who is like this teenage kid, maybe you say early 20s or something like that. And he's kind of an asshole in a way. And I think that would work a lot. But yeah, the Marvels. So the Marvels, I know they're bringing in Miss Marvel, which they're going to do. I believe that are they doing the movie first? Or are they doing the TV show? I think they're doing the TV show first to bring in Miss Marvel, which I'm actually looking forward to because Camilla Khan is actually a good character. She is the opposite of Captain Marvel, and she is not bland. And even though she's a little bit annoying sometimes personality wise, but teenage girl, that's what she's supposed to be, a little bit on the annoying side. So looking forward to that at least. Not looking forward to the Marvels. Yeah, the TV shows first. Exactly, Cordell. Agree with you. So yeah, a fun movie. I'm looking forward also to the Abomination's going to be back as well, is what we've been told. So I'm looking forward to that as well. I want to see why Wong was going to fucking fight clubs, in Macau, and having Emil throw his punches is what he said was going on. Because yeah, he was actually setting Emil up to throw the fight until Emil sucker punched him. So yeah, good stuff. Yeah, fun movie, like I said. By no means like the best out of the Marvel movies, but well worth your time to go and see it. And again, you can wait till it comes out on Disney Plus, and I believe they're going to pay extra in the 45 days from the original release date. You can wait for that. That's easy enough to do. You can do a drive-in like I did and take your chances, roll the dice. If you have a good drive-in near you, I suggest that. Actually, me and a buddy of mine were talking a little while ago here because he hasn't seen it yet, and we were talking about paying the $200 and just renting out a theater and just inviting a couple of friends that we know are all vaccinated and stuff like that and doing that. That's also an option too. So, I mean, yeah. That's right, Raymond. Wang is always broke. That is the joke, right? That Wang is always broke, and it's because he's been gambling, I believe, is what it is. Which is a stereotype, by the way, man. All Asians are gamblers. Jesus. There. So, with that said, what else do I have going on the rest of this week? Well, tomorrow is going to be What If. That's right, Marvel's What If. And it's a zombie episode. So I'm fucking stoked because I love Marvel zombies. I can't wait for that to come out. Honestly, I might wait up until midnight to go and watch it then instead of watching it early in the morning like I normally been doing. Thursday is going to be Titans. That's right. Morks' favorite show, Titans. Friday, I'm going to be off. Saturday is going to be Saturday Morning Blast Off, where I take the genre news of the weekend and your genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. Sunday may or may not be spoiler alert. Basically, we talk spoilers about all kinds of stuff. Anything that's out in the public. Anything that is, been a sneak release or something like that. I don't want to talk about it at that point, but anything that's in the public, we'll talk about it. Monday, I'll be off, and then Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? I don't know what I'm doing as of yet, but we'll figure something out. Cordell asks, side question, by the way, do you think Monica Rambeau will be in? Yeah, she's going to be in the Marvels. Cordell, they already said that she's going to be in the Marvels. She's also supposed to be in one of the TV shows. I know what she's going to be in. She is going to be in Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever. She's going to be in that because Riri is going to be introduced in Black Panther 2, which leads to Ironheart. And from what I understand, Monica Rambeau is going to somehow be tied into Ironheart as well. From what I've been reading out there, who knows if it's true or not. But I know Don Cheadle's going to be in with Ironheart, so that's going to be fun. We'll see what they do with that. Because of course, War Machine. He's also going to be the Armor Wars as well. So we got the Armor Wars to look forward to. So you've got Ironheart and you've got Armor Wars. Yeah. Which I believe is probably going to lead up to Riri having her own movie at that point. Or it's going to go into Young Avengers. I believe it's going to go into Young Avengers, quite honestly. Everything is being set up towards Young Avengers and either a Thunderbolts movie or Dark Avengers movie. One or the other. There's two different paths that I see forming in both the TV series and the movies. And it can be in both directions, coming at both sides and heading into one. You can have the Young Avengers fighting either the Dark Avengers, or you can have the Young Avengers fighting the Thunderbolts as well. And if we actually get Norman Osborn to come in through Spider-Man No Way Home, which obviously it looks like, I don't know if Dafoe is going to be coming back. That would be kind of interesting to bring William Dafoe into the MCU as Norman Osborn again and keep him here in this, in this MCU that we've got. And I wonder if they're going to number the MCUs like they do in the comics. In the comics, the Marvel universe that we know, that before they did the whole, melding of universes thing, was the Marvel 616. And so every universe has a number to it. And that was, the Marvel universe that we know is the 616. The Ultimates universe was a different number, all that kind of stuff. So we'll see what happens. Oh yeah, I love Dafoe as Green Goblin, except for that stupid helmet. I mean, if they had only, I know that Raimi wanted to do the latex helmet, the latex thing, but it didn't work for what he was doing. So yeah. Philip says, the Russo brothers refused to direct the Avengers Secret Wars movie because of the Black Widow lawsuit. Yeah, I know. And that means Disney is going to have to fucking buckle down, and they're going to have to do something they don't like in order to get the Russo brothers back. Or they could just say fuck you to the Russo brothers and try and find somebody else, which good luck with that one. Yeah. Because the Russo brothers made a good portion of the movies. Let's just face it. I mean, they made the good movies, in the Marvel series, a good portion of the good movies in the Marvel universe. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you to everybody who joined me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far in the video. If you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. Basically, YouTube takes the algorithm of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos. My vast video library and pops up there just for you. And if you like what you see there, hit that subscribe button down below there. Also, if you can, hit that like button, the share button. And if you want to know when I'm going to be on live again next, hit the bell down below. It's a 50-50 chance of YouTube actually notifying you. Best thing to do is go to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, all the links to my social media are there and my pages as well. Cordell says they made the good continuity. They did make the good continuity. They did. Philip says that kind of implies we are getting a Secret Wars movie. Yeah, we were going to get a Secret Wars movie because they already had Secret Invasion going on. Which what's her name? Amelia Clark was or is cast in. And I'm fairly sure that Sharon Carter is a Skrull. I know I've said this before, but I believe that Sharon Carter, the power broker, if you will, is a Skrull, as are some other people as well. So, yeah, we have the whole Secret Invasion thing going on as well. There's a lot of irons in the fire that Marvel's doing right now, and the fact that they are doing such a wide spectrum of stories all at the same time is going to blow a lot of people's minds who are not familiar with these comics at all. But they're also going to blow the minds of those of us who are familiar with the comics, because doing all these fucking storylines at once, it's like having, 5 different crossover stories going on in the comics during, a summer kind of thing, which is just fucking nutty. You don't do 5 crossover events in the summertime all at the same time. It just doesn't happen that way. Yeah. So, with that said, I'm going to let you guys go. Thank you, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow for What If. Until then, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may wind up in a really bad drive-through that looks like a post-apocalyptic flea market that really just needs to turn into a flea market and stay that way. Because obviously you can't watch anything on that movie screen whatsoever. Thanks, everybody. I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, be well, take care. Get those shots. Wear those masks. The vaccine shots. That's what I was talking about, not the horse dewormer shit. That's really just stupid. Anyway, stay safe out there. Be safe. Take care. And I will see you tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody. Thanks, everybody. And I will see you tomorrow.